So we're working in Font Awesome and Illustrator, so let me start over. So I start out in Font Awesome, and I find thumbs up right there. I copy it. I go into Illustrator and start a new artboard, so Command N on my laptop or just File, New. And it's 100 by 100. I'm going to call this Thumbs Up. And hit OK. And now I have an artboard. I'm going to paste, Command V, and then change the font to Font Awesome. And I had to just go select my selector tool there to make sure this was selected. So there's my thumbs up. Now I'm going to go to File and Document Setup and Edit Artboards. So it allows me to click this button here, show crosshairs, and this button here, show video safe areas. That just gives me some guides to work with. So come back here and then hit this arrow again and hold down Shift. If I don't hold down Shift here, I could do this kind of stuff. Just kind of fun to look at. But if I hold Shift, it constrains proportions. And I'm going to save some room around the edges of my icon, so I'm just going to go right to that line down here. And that's for if your stroke changes in an SVG, it gives you room for that change. So lined it up. Perfect. And then I'm going to select Align, which is a horizontal line left. Align to Artboard is chosen, and here I can horizontal line center, and then vertical align center right there. So now I got that all kind of in the middle. Nice. And I can do a file save. And I'm going to save that to my source files for this card group. So I'll save it there. And OK. And then I'll do a file save as. And save it as an SVG. And OK. And then these are all the default settings. And that's what I want. Just looking at them for a second. Cool. Now I'm done with that one. And if you're working in Inkscape, it's somewhat similar, but it's going to give you a whole bunch of wacky code that you also get wacky code in Illustrator, but it's slightly different wacky, so we'll see how to clean that up in a second. So I got my thumbs up. I need my trophy. So I'm looking for a trophy. And there's my trophy. Command C. Just make sure it's the same one. Looks similar. Command C. And so I go back to Illustrator and I do a new artboard, Command N, and trophy is what I'm calling this one. And then paste, and Font Awesome. And then File, Document Setup, Edit Artboards, Video Safe, and Crosshairs. And then get my arrow selector and hold down Shift and bring it in right there and down here. And then align to Artboard and horizontal line center and vertical line center and file save. And it's trophy, Adobe Illustrator, cool. And file save as, and SVG, trophy, and defaults, cool. And done with that one. And now we need lightning. Light 10 ink. How do you bolt? I'll just search for bolt. Fob bolt, there we go. Command C, new artboard. Oh, let me close out, and I forgot to give it the name. New artboard, bolt. There we go. Paste, Font Awesome, and File, Document Setup, and Edit Artboards, and put on my video save guides and my crosshairs. Get my selection arrow, selection tool. And align, and then file save, 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 file save as, SVG, save, save. Close. I'm done with Illustrator. So now back in WebStorm, I could look at my source files. And I don't need Flask anymore. And I want to clean up my bold SVG, my thumbs up SVG, and my trophy SVG. Get rid of all these group elements in the XML for SVG. Don't want those, need those. I don't know why Illustrator puts them in. And get rid of all of them over here. And you'll get a bunch of funky code when you use Inkscape too. So the thing is just clean it up so that you have what you're going to have here in a moment when I'm done with all this. And now I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need this ID. I do need XMLNS blah 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 blah. I don't need that. I'll keep width and height because who knows? I forgot what that does. And I've just been keeping it. So that's what I want right there. I'm just going to copy this. Since all of my artboards were the same 100 by 100, that'll be the same up here. That's it. So now my SVGs are all cleaned up and I'm ready to start using them. So I go to my index, and when I put my stuff inline, I could do things with it that I can't do when it's externally linked. And so I have Flask right now. One of them is going to be one thing, and then the path goes in the middle. So I'm just going to clean all that up. This is kind of where I define all my SVGs. So one of them is going to be bolt. What are they? Thumbs up. Tombs up. Thumbs up. Trophy. Husband. And bolt. And so now I need my thumbs up. Copy that. There's my thumbs up. And then I need my trophy. Copy that. And there's my trophy. And then I need my bolt. Copy that. There's my bolt. And then I need to come down here and change those. So instead of using Flask, I'm going to use thumbs up. Instead of using Flask, I'm going to use trophy. Instead of using Flask, I'm going to use bolt. So targeting those by ID. Yeah. Looks good. Looks too small. So now you see what the text is. Trial, basic tier, most popular. So I'm done there. So I want, instead of here, I want trial and basic tier. And I'll try just a break. And oops. And the last one is advanced tier, only for enterprise level professional. All right, so we had some things get wacky. My first thought in fixing this is what it needs to look like. But even his is kind of wacky, right? Hers, whoever wrote it. because the icons are not aligned. So if I move this up to the top of the screen, you can see that, right? Lightning bolt's a little bit over the screen, trophy's a little closer, thumbs is a little farther away. So ideally I'd like to have enough room right here for text and then enough room for icon, and then as one changes, they're all going to change. But I kind of need this border here. So to do that, how would we do that? What's the layout going to be? If we need this right here to be one thing that grows and shrinks in height with each other, we need that to be a row, right? So we kind of need we've had these built individually. Does that make sense? In some ways, we want them to be individual, don't we? Because if they're individual, they stand on their own, and here's a card, here's another card, here's another card. So we want them to be individual, but we also want, we want them to be individual, like here, this is it. But then we also want this to be kind of like acting individual. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm not necessarily leading us anywhere to some great realization. Hopefully we'll find one, despite the fact. But what are your thoughts? Like, this designer didn't nail it. How do we always get these areas to be the same? Regardless of how much text got put in. I don't know how you do that. Max width, maybe. Max height. There's flex grow.
Well, the one that lines them all up according to whatever.
There's baseline. Baseline's cool. Ah, I like it. Baseline. Baseline might be interesting. Where's baseline in this? I don't know. So what would the baseline be? Nice idea. CSS flex box. So if we just search for baseline. So we have here's align items. Baseline. So different sizes, but we got the bases lined up. That's cool. So what are we going to baseline in that? I think the trophies, right? The icons. So how do we baseline those icons? Well, it kind of looks like are the icons baselined? It does sort of look like it. I can't ever get anything right there unless I do this. There's my line. Maybe not. So let's try it.
Does the SVG file size ever affect anything like that?
I don't think so, because it's just image data. So baseline, we have ATF container. Let's put some borders on this. We have an ATF container. Okay, so that's this. And then inside there, we have a class card. Which apparently I've overwritten the border. Class card. Card border. There we go, I've overwritten it right there. So there's the card. And then inside there, that's each one of those is a card. And then inside there we have top and bottom. Top and bottom. So big container ATF, and in that ATF container we have 3 cards, and those cards are arranged horizontally in a row, so we probably use display flex, flex direction row, and align center, justify content center, put in the middle, align center, vertically put them in the middle. And then each of those cards has a top and a bottom. So this card is probably display flex, flex direction, vertical. I'm not saying that right. Flex direction column. Thank you. Right? And so it's putting the top and the bottom into a column. Right? So inside that card we need these guys to be aligned baseline. And baseline is for something for the container, right? So for these to be in the same container, it's going to baseline its children. I don't know if this will do anything. And align items works vertically when it's a row, and that's I'm just thinking out loud. So there's the trophy. Right? Like if we had 3 different size icons and they were all in a container, and we said justify in its row, and we said justify content center, align items for those 3 items baseline, cool, that would work. But again, they kind of have to all be in their same container. Does that make sense? And they're each in their own card container.
Can they be given a size? Because like the bolt's a little bit bigger than the 2 on the left.
Yeah, right. We could maybe give each a size and say you have to be this size, right? And then we just won't let our text get bigger than that. But this is what's growing right here. And these 2 are children of the card. Sounds like some Stephen King novel. Children of the card. And so the card is arranged children. Format. The card is a column. So it puts these 2 into a column. And then we have top, and top is where we have our problem, because it's that trial or basic tier most popular in top, or advanced tier only for enterprise level professional. It's that last H3 which is screwing things up. So we haven't done anything with top. We've got arranged children here. And so flex directions, column, justify, center, center. Right? Is there some way that we could say we want this H3 to grow down? I don't know. Right? It's already growing. So we basically need that to, but then we need those to be connected. I think the only way is to set a height and just say, you know what, it's always this height. So the first thing to fix would be, let's center this text. So that H3 right here got centered. Trial. That looks good. But this one, basic tier, most popular, it's kind of left, right? And advanced tier, it's all the way to the left. So let's drop on H3 and see what H3 looks like. Just barely holding what it contains. So I think the first thing we need to do H3 is interesting, right? I didn't think that would be width. So now I got to go up here and see what the whole deal is. Just kidding. Ah, that's bright. And let's take this off right here. And let's make it so these guys are kind of keeping with their SVG right here with, and div class, those are all in top. So let's go to top. And we'll take the width off of that one. So I've added the 100% width to top. And top is basically this dashed area right here, right? So it's inside card, which is the outer area. And this is top. And so I'm saying now make top width 100%. Cool. And so now I could maybe say make H3 100% width. Cool. So now I just need to center my text. So to center that, I could just use text align center, and that's like the quick and dirty way to center text without doing flexbox and everything. So I got my text centered. Now I just need maybe a height. So we have height for H3, 300 pixels. They're all lined up. So we just need to bring that down. So height 300 pixels. So I just have to determine ahead of time you can't have too much text. Right? And if there's some sort of automatic way text is being injected by my web app so that it doesn't break my design, I would just have my code say, you've got too many characters, that's it. Like you can only tweet so many characters, you could only put so many characters there, however they were shown up there. So then we'll just take this off and see what that looks like without the border. And this one goes back on. And the red one around H3 goes off. Do you like it? Do you like having the even line across trial, basic tier, advanced being even lined? Because one other thought would be instead of text align center on the H3, so that's the way we were doing it, we could do This will vertically center it. This will horizontally center it. Why didn't that work? H3, that's your text. Oh, because we have width 100%. Is that it? No. Why didn't my text get centered? I think it's just the way it's wrapping. But maybe not. What happens if it's really small? Too small. It's not centered. I guess we still need that. So that's everything centered, but it's vertically centered too. Do you see the difference? So there's that way. I want you all to vote. Do you like it this way? Or I wonder if I could get this to come up in a new window. The only way that I know how to do that is like this. So that's top aligned. The text is all even on the top. Do you like that way or this way? So you got to vote. This is going to be option number 1. This is going to be option number 2. Option number 1. Option number 2. How many people like option number 1? 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you raising your hand or scratching your hair?
Oh, my bad. Should we both?
5?
Oh, yeah, and I got the SVG working.
Oh, cool. And you like this one? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Isn't that a snickerdoodle? What do they call that? A pickle. Isn't that a pickle? You know, I thought I liked this one, but then after I kind of looked at that one, I don't know.
Angle represents the price.
It's all the same, actually.
Well,
So you might as well just get the advanced here.
on the example, the price is
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be true, huh? The price has increased. So we'd have to change the price. What's the price on the example? Is free 10, 6,000. And there's no more cost on there, so let's fix that up. That one's just the same. I think I like this one. So that was the takeaway from that, right? That was an interesting design problem. And it was the takeaway is we fixed it by just setting a height right there. Like the height's got to be this amount, so that it didn't like grow and throw off the side of our card. How many people that was kind of valuable to watch me not know the answer and struggle through and hear how like, oh, this is how I think it through. But that's why this stuff, it's taken me like, you know, it's 15 minutes to 5. It took a half hour to do that. this video has been running for 30 minutes, right? But it took probably 10 to get all the SVGs, and then it took 20 to figure that out. But that's where I say, like, don't be hard on yourself if this is taking you time. It takes time. And the longer you do it, I'm sure the faster it gets, because it's faster for me now than it used to be, right? Pretty soon you just look at it and you'll be like, height. Got to put some height in, you know? All right, so that's finishing out the last example. Anybody study design at all in here? You did? I don't know why you laughed. Like, what did you get any tips or anything, like, you know, when?
As far as style, no. Just I guess it was more of just graphic wise, not.
Who taught it? Craig Polanowski?
No.
Mm.
It was more about layouts than.
Which is better, top aligned or? But I think those little nuances are important, you know, and that's the design game, is to just sit there and then A/B testing. So if you're watching this video online, I'm just rambling. I'm not going to build to something, but you might find something valuable. A/B testing would be like you would deploy it like this, and you'd deploy it where it's top aligned, and you'd see what's the difference after 10,000 clicks of each. What difference did we get? And you'd have a statistician on staff who understands that at 10,000, the probability of, you know, it's all, you know, it's like you have a good sample, and you'd be able to figure out statistically, like, more people like this. We get more $6,000 purchases when it's like this. That's interesting. And then it just becomes a game of tweaking things a little bit and doing A/B and seeing, you know, how do you get the mice to give you more of their money? We'll end on that note.